roll up, ladies and gentlemen, to the greatest podcast on earth. Step right up and experience the magnificence that is the Two Ring Circus podcast. You'll gasp, you'll laugh, and you'll be amazed at what comes next.
Amazing.
Don't worry about the smell. It's just the stars of our show, Tom Italiano
G'day.
and Matt Bradshaw.
Slap back.
Welcome!
Welcome to episode 147, everybody. And you, Matt Bradshaw, from your circus in Frankston.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it.
My circus in Frankston.
How is you in the Frankston circus?
Good, man. Good. I went outside yesterday. I took some clothes off the line. That was
Oh, God, I thought
that was
I thought you were
my
going to say
outing
something
for the
else.
day.
I went outside. I took some clothes off. The line. I mean, it's big, Matt, but I wouldn't call it a line.
When my dad talks about, back in the old days when he used to go to the Saturday night dances and not dances with an R.
Yes.
That's a euphemism if ever I've heard one. Just go to the Saturday night dances.
I used to go to the Saturday night dances.
The dances that were held on a Saturday. It's not getting any better. Doesn't matter.
I understand.
But if he was, he never used the word courting about girls who he was dating. That wasn't a dad word. His phrase was, "There was this girl I used to do a line with."
Yeah, okay. As in, like, dance a line with. Yeah.
No,
Oh, no, actually, do a line with.
no, not doing lines either.
Fuck, you're old man. Woo!
Oh, he's crazy. No, that was dating.
Do a line.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've never heard it before.
Dating, me neither.
I cannot tell you the last time I went on a date.
Oh. Well, I would say you should get out more, but you're not allowed.
No, but years. It's been years since I went on a date with someone. Years.
Yes. Why do you think that is?
Because I fucking don't like people. Good night, everyone.
Oh.
No. A lot of that time. I mean, I've been single. I've been single now for a long time, and but previous to that, I wasn't. So you can't go on dates. This is what I've learned, and I learned it from listening to your song, "Fix a Woman." When you're when you're in a relationship with someone, you can't go on dates.
Well, that's paraphrasing if I ever heard it. Yeah, I mean, you can go on dates with the person you're with.
That's true.
Oh.
That's true. My one of my exes and I, we had a date hat.
A date hat? Oh,
Yeah,
as in you're like, what are we doing tonight?
That's right.
Hey, I like it. What was in the hat usually?
All sorts of fun stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And we both had to come up with ideas for it.
Stay
for the
home?
metaphorical hat.
Stay on the couch. Stay in the...
No, they weren't options, unfortunately. If I could tell you who it was, but I reckon you could guess because
I
she's
know who it was. Yeah,
she's a friend of ours that just always comes up with just fucking cool, fun, out of the hat box ideas.
I would say her hobby is going out and doing things. Like being sociable and kind of engaging people. And the first person, like, talks to a stranger. She's a talk to a stranger person. Yeah.
Yep.
Very admirable. I wish I was 100th of what she is when it comes to that stuff.
Dude, so I'm sure you and I would have spoken about this in person over the journey. The thing I discovered when I was younger, I used to really like traveling by myself.
Yeah.
because I would have kind of cool solo experiences. And admittedly, when I was away this last time, no, they weren't. Well, they were cool solo experiences in the sense that as a solo traveler, I then met people and then wasn't solo anymore.
Yeah.
But I learned a few years ago when I went traveling by myself that I really didn't like it. That I actually felt kind of lonely. That was mainly, so I went to Hawaii and I'd just broken up with a partner then, and we were supposed to go together and then we didn't.
Yeah.
And I went by myself. So I'm sure that was part of it. But it was weird. Like I went to a place where, it was a lovely, fun holiday destination, and in a country where people spoke English, so there was no language barrier. There was no real impedance to being able to be sociable and make friends and all that sort of thing. Except that without having a guitar in my hand, when people come up to me because they've just seen me play for 45 minutes, and so that there's the conversation starter.
Yep.
Without that, I felt really. It's maybe a little also like when you and I cut our hair off at our respective times when we did that.
Yeah.
It's quite a big thing. It's a big. Psychologically, it's certainly for me, it was this big mane of stuff is what I have going for me,
Right.
and also it's a physical. It's kind of a curtain.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
100%.
Where you get to hide a bit and to sort of come out. It was a big deal. It was a real big deal.
Yeah.
And you spend a long time growing the fucking thing as well.
Yeah, I mean, identity wraps up in all kinds of stuff, and certainly in how you present to the world and how you see in your mind's eye of how you present to the world. So I get that, particularly about the hair and the guitar thing. Yeah. And I do like people, and I know that you do too. I know we say jokingly often that, people. But it is, you are instantly more approachable when people have been able to observe you do something that in their mind defines who you are as well. And so if you've played, say, for 40 minutes and you've been jovial, or you've done what I usually do, which is sit back and be quiet in a corner, but people have seen you do something, so they have a reference point to engage with you. Whereas if you're just sitting in the corner of a cafe in, Rome by yourself, you're just a weirdo in the corner by yourself in a city where people, travel all the time. Can I ask you a question though?
Yeah, go on.
So that was what your experience was in Hawaii, which is really a holiday destination more than it is a travel experience.
Sure.
When you went by yourself, was it last year? And you went to Russia, and that was more of a I'm going to explore the world situation as opposed to have a holiday.
Yes, sir.
Did you find that was much easier to an enjoyable experience?
Well, I was just
because you were out exploring as opposed to going, I guess I can just get McDonald's here, like in Hawaii.
Oh, shit, coffee. That was the first thing I discovered in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Except that the the pertinent factor in that then, though, becomes that the very first day I was in Russia, I met a local person and he and I just hung out for the rest of the time I was there.
Yeah.
So I kind of wasn't alone anyway.
You're much more... I felt my experience of traveling is much more likely to meet someone when you are in a place where you're a novelty as well. So
that's interesting. Yes. Of course. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. On my cycle trip, or on my cycle trips, like, you know, in a country where I don't speak the language and I've got a bicycle and I'm like, what a weirdo, this guy, let's go talk to this guy. And when you turn out to be, yeah, what you're doing is weird, but, you know, you're okay. People go, hey, come and have dinner with my family. And you're like, all right. And you don't speak this, no one speaks the language that you speak.
You are absolutely right. And how
Yeah.
funny that I hadn't clocked it that way. And yes, I know, as I said, I was single in Hawaii, not expecting to be before I left kind of vibe. But
Yeah.
I said there was no language barrier, but actually it's the converse. You're absolutely
Yeah.
right. Like you're spot on. You kind of the fish out of water thing kind of can work in your favor.
Yeah,
'Cause
because you can't find out, you can't look at a sign. Well, like I was in Hungary, I was like, well, I don't know what the signage says. So, excuse me, I'm one of those idiots from somewhere else that doesn't speak the language. What does that sign say? And then they go, that just means exit that way. It's like, that means exit? Like, let me show you what exit is in Australia. And then you like, you know, and one night I remember I was in Croatia and it's like I was just sitting on the ground with Anna and we were having a chat and these two other people came over, clearly like not from Croatia, but they were from the Netherlands, right? Sat down with us and the one kid said, the younger guy, he said, so do you play football in Australia? And I went, do we play football? And then I showed them AFL and then there was like 6 people around watching this AFL video, just going, did people die? They were watching, just going, what is this brutal sport? And then you just have to start having conversations about, occasionally people die, but not professionally, Dude, and then they were like, I remember them saying, with one guy saying, so you're allowed to play this? Like, couldn't get that we were allowed to do it.
That's so cool.
That doesn't happen when you go to like a country where everyone speaks the same language. It's because the language is just the start. Like, whereas, like, in Hawaii, so many things are similar to Australia. Like in the US, there's lots of differences, but you can read the sign or you can decipher what it means. Or whereas, if you're in Russia,
Well, now speaking of that, have you ever used the Google take a picture of the thing and it translates in real? No, not take a picture. Hold your phone up to the sign and it translates in real time on your screen in front of you.
Can you use that with people?
Yes, but only people of the same gender. So sorry about that, mate.
Oh, I get that. That's good. Yeah,
you do. Yeah.
Really good. Oh, that's like every time I sing that song online, Fix a Woman, someone, a female, says, there's got to be a version of this song for men. I was like, yeah, the version is like, never try to fix a woman, and the other one is never try to change a man.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. Because boys always try to fix stuff and girls always try to change stuff. I love you. You're so wonderful. Can you be different now?
Well, you know what they say, mate. Men are from Mars, women are from Google.
Yep. If only we had that app for the entire history of the human race.
Do you know, though, the thing that I'm talking about?
No, but you describe it to me in a way that makes me believe that it's excellent and
It is
terrifying.
Wild.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And I used it in Russia, and it's pretty crazy.
Was it called like Google Translate app or something?
I can't remember what it's called.
Translate something completely different.
Google language, Google something. Yeah. I can't remember.
I want to know. I want to know so bad. I'm professional. Is this professional? Is this podcast professional?
Yes. Let me tell you this while you do that. Our friend Ráv Thomas, speaking of AFL, has a new venture on the go.
Is it new after the shutdown? New?
Yes.
Oh, right. Cool.
It's called All Fun and Games with Ráv Thomas.
Cool.
And it's him interviewing mainly AFL guys because he now has a working relationship
with
the AFL that is just remarkable.
Yeah.
And now speaks to these footballers like he's known them forever, and manages to just draw these sorts of stories out of them. So he's interviewing these guys, but the premise of the show is he's interviewing them while they're social distancing, because he's been doing a lot of it during this shutdown time.
Yeah.
Over a board game.
Awesome.
So Operation Test Match,
Oh, great, cool.
yeah. And so they just have the chat while they're with the little tweezers. And it was good while I was playing with them. Fuck. What
That's
a great
awesome.
idea, huh?
Yeah, great.
Yeah, very clever.
Has it been released?
I think so. Maybe there might have only been teasers that I've seen so far, and like on Facebook and Insta.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
he
'cause
is. I mean, he could very much have a career in that, hosting a show on TV or something. He's just
I think he has done.
okay. He's so good at that stuff and just talking to a camera and whatnot.
Really good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and really good at talking to. Oh, he's actually very good at speaking with people, but he's certainly very good at speaking with people from different walks of life on their level. Like he's quite the raconteur-y kind of fit around. Yeah.
Great.
So that's pretty good fun, because I'm sure he asked a lot of people, but he asked me for ideas. He said, so I need the next big thing. What am I going to do? I need to, and I, along the same veins, although I knew it wasn't going to be anything that we could do in this time, I suggested a cooking show. I said, people fucking love cooking shows. You get one of these guys on to make their favourite dish while you stand there and talk to them like that. But that, of course, involves a lot of preparation and a proper space and a big fucking kitchen. Yeah. So, but this is where it's ultimately ended up. So,
Oh, great.
yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Oh, cool. I look forward to it. Seeing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
And we have our other friends, David and Travis, who have their Coolroom podcast.
Hey, we should do that thing that we said we are going to do.
All right,
this
then
would be
why
our
don't
very first time ever.
Why don't we do that?
How are we going to do that? Hang on. What if I...
Oh, you're going to do it in real time?
No.
Just say yes. Like we've actually just recorded a song together at the same time.
So-
like all these people who are implying that it's all happened.
I'm just going to go over to the machine here. And go.
Hey there, circus fans. Do you need more Matt Bradshaw in your life? Well, I've got good news for you. My name's David, and I'm one of the hosts of a podcast called The Coolroom. And just the other day, Matt joined us for a 1.5 hour chat. Well, he spoke for 1.5 hours anyway. We discussed the beginnings of Matt's career, his favourite places to play or even just hang out in Melbourne and around the world, and of course, how he's found some positive ways to do things during the coronavirus lockdown, like podcast and write new songs. Don't worry, we're not afraid to ask the hard questions either. You get to find out which of Matt's hidden piercings was ripped out live on stage, what OH&S laws he flouted in China, and why he won't play the Snappy Tom jingle for my son when it's requested on a Sunday afternoon at the Duda Gala. To find us, just search for The Coolroom, wherever you choose to download your podcasts from.
It's good.
Hey, how good was that?
So that was a bit of promo for the episode of the podcast, The Coolroom, that I recorded last week with David and Travis.
Yeah.
David is the proprietor of the Royal Mail on Spencer Hotel. And Travis is a muso-y, producer-y type dude.
Sweet.
Yeah. So, and Dom and I will be doing an episode together with them at some point in the very near future. It was good. We chatted for like an hour and a half of...
It's not hard to chat to interesting people for a long time.
It's nice of you to say, mate.
I've been chatting to you for a long time.
Well, in at least one of the extra-y, promo-y things that David did, as far as just the written word on Facebook about this is what we just did, there was an implication that the two of them didn't get much of a chance to get a word in. But fuck them.
I can hear. I can hear in the background at your house a whole bunch of birds having sex outside your window.
Girls, shush! I'll be there in a minute. That was a joke from the 70s.
Oh, and from the UK.
Yes. Yeah, that was a joke from on the buses.
Yeah.
Look at that cracking bird.
They'd be Sheilas if they were in Australia, would they? The 70s?
Yeah.
Sheilas.
I can't believe that's so loud for you because I can barely hear them. They're just because my backyard's just out there, just outside the circus tent.
Yeah, and well, I think those birds were even trying to get a word in. That's what I was trying. That's where I was going with that bad joke.
Right, sorry.
Hey, Kat and I were talking before, and I said something.
Cats, birds, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah, Kat and I were talking before, and I said that should be a segment for the Two Ring Circus podcast.
Huh?
Classic lines from movies, but with a speech impediment.
Oh dear.
With a lisp or a stutter, or like just a slur.
Oh God, really? Okay,
fun.
Can you just sell it to me?
Well, then I thought, and I said, actually, no, it'd be way better to not record that and just do it with your mates.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people when they're thinking, people sensitive these days. They think that if you put on a voice, you're being disrespectful or whatever. I'm just being a character that I'm not. Right? Yeah. I mean, it depends what you say when you're putting on the character. Right? That's the thing that makes you disrespectful. But it's kind of like when people, you
Give me examples of each.
No. I'm too smart for your ruse. Not while we're recording.
Dumb.
Because once it's there, someone can just go, see that guy Dom? 6 years ago, before he was famous, he did this. And then I'll have to apologise for something I'm not going to apologise for. Fuck you, all the people who want me to apologise for shit I haven't done wrong. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, someone cut that out and put it on a meme.
Well,
I think that's what the kids call them.
I just wanted to record it now so that in 6 years' time we can use it.
I saw a clip yesterday that was, I mean, who knows the veracity of this, but it was of Donald Trump, presumably before a recording or a broadcast was supposed to happen. And the caption was just high as a kite. And he's kind of leaning on the, I know I've gone very white now, but.
Oh my God.
That didn't help.
Webcams.
But because he's quite up close to the camera and I don't know, it's the way it's lit or the angle that he's on, huge bags under his eyes. And he's not leaning on his hand. He's just kind of leaning forward and just kind of looking around and then says, "Hello, everybody." And it's really slurry and really, it's fucking weird. Because
humans
you
are
get the
weird.
impression he doesn't love anyone. Except white people.
Well, he thinks people are tremendous. Tremendous.
Tremendous is a word I use tremendously often.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there are similarities between you and Donald Trump. I mean...
Name one.
Well, you both say tremendous a lot.
Name two.
You say tremendously tremendous a lot.
Give me 20 good reasons.
I don't need to. Nor can I. You're both tall?
He doesn't look tall. He's got the Bert Newtons going on.
You're both successful?
Anyway. No, don't give me 20 good reasons. Stop. It was a song illusion.
You both look better in a suit?
Than not.
Yeah, I don't know. Huh. It's been a long time since I've seen you doing a line, whatever it was.
It's been a long time since I've done a line with a girl. It's true.
There you go. See?
Yeah, it's a weird phrase.
I reckon it's been less time since Donald Trump's done a line with a girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Not-
we've all grabbed it. So...
Yeah, moving on.
What else has been happening for you? This is the pertinent question because you are one of the busiest people I know.
I feel like it doesn't matter what's happening in the world. I managed to fill up my days with stuff that I probably don't need to do.
Oh well, okay. So I want to come back to what it is that you've got going on.
Yes.
Because you are an endlessly interesting person to me. So this invites conjecture and supposition on your part. So I won't hold you to any of these answers. But
Let me get ready.
I know. I wonder how much longer this situation is going to be going on. And then how much longer after things are obviously relaxing, it's going to take for you and I to go back to work.
Okay. Well, I wonder the same thing. I believe the government has a 6-month plan to have reason to not let us go back to work. What I mean by us, I mean, I do believe other than international travel, the last people to go back to work will be people that work in the environments that we do, which is, people mingling from all over the place. In a way, it was like, oh, here, mate, my round. There you go. That's 5 people that have touched those glasses in 30 seconds,
Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, was something I used to think, long before all this happened. The number of staff who have served me over the years who have poured me a pint,
yeah,
and then we've had a conversation. A bit sick today. It's like,
yeah. Well, that's because you take money off people and cards off people, and
yeah, gross.
yeah.
Gross. I've never been healthier, dude.
Other than over the weekend where I was transitioning from terrible diet for a month to much better the last couple of days, which, I was clearly unwell.
Yeah.
But not sick. It was a, inflammation issue. Yeah, I think I think they've gone, okay, we're going to pay everyone for 6 months. And that way we've got a time frame that we can stick to, just in case, but also to kind of come up with a new plan. And also, the one thing that they're going to have to do is, the curve is squashed, so to speak. Well, once we've had 3 weeks of 0 cases, there's going to be a lot of kind of, when the fuck can I go back to my normal life?
Yeah.
I think then they've got to go, okay, like Perth has done, like in Western Australia, they're going, 10 people can get together.
Mm-hmm.
And then 5 days later, it'll go, and here's another thing we're going to let you do, another thing and another thing. And that can drag out over 6 to 10 weeks to give them an extra couple of months up their sleeves, But I can't understand why. So I think Alanis Morissette announced a reschedule of their concert for November.
Is that right?
Yeah, someone said that recently. I was just like,
stop doing that. I've just done that 3 times by accident. Sorry.
I'm just like, well, they're not going to let people, 12,000 people get together by November when the person on stage is from a country that is got currently over 50,000 deaths from this thing.
Yeah.
Like, how is that going to happen? Like, I mean, is Alanis Morissette going to come in the country and self-quarantine for 2 weeks and all her crew and all that?
Yeah, it's quite odd, that.
That's I guess they can reschedule as much as they want because, well, there's no cost to them doing it other than sending out an email saying, at the moment, this is when we want to play. It's not like they it's not like there's a conflicting schedule where they go, well, if we don't book you in this day, someone else will take it.
Gene Simmons today tweeted that Kiss weren't going to go back on their End of the Road tour until there was a vaccine.
So now we know why the labs have released this bug onto the world.
You are a fuck. And not in a good way.
No, well, I'm not. But
Got a bit personal.
I'm not. And I'm not.
Yeah, it's that's So I was chatting with our friend Nell a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
And he made me think of something that I hadn't thought of, which is the other industry that's going to be really that has been really heavily impacted, but that will continue to be is gyms, and particularly big gyms. Big gyms. It's a good name for a gym.
Yeah, I mean,
because who's going to go to a place where everyone is sweaty and expirating and expectorating and you know, not wiping shit down properly, and even if they do, who, you know, you get your sweaty towel and you wipe that thing down. I think that's what happens at gyms. That was what happened when I went to the gym in 1963.
Yeah, that's
when it was just a medicine ball. That's all you had.
Well, if there was more medicine at the gyms, maybe people would go. Yeah, that's an issue. I mean, I was listening to something on the radio. I think yesterday in the car. So, I don't know. Time's weird, mate. I think it was yesterday, and it was just saying, yeah, gyms have been massively impacted, and it's uncertain. But you can't buy gym equipment from anywhere because it's all sold out.
Well, that's the other thing, isn't it? Why would anyone spend membership on a gym when they've probably now got all the gear at home?
Yep. And just as I was talking to my friend who works at The Good Guys, apparently there are no webcams in Australia. You can't buy a webcam.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so this was part of the reason I was asking the question.
Yeah.
Because I've been so clearly anyone who's watching this can see that there is a marked difference in quality between Dom's image and mine. Dom is using.
Can you see it too at your end?
Oh yeah.
All right. Okay. Good. Yeah.
Yeah. My Zoom setup though is not as good as yours. You're basically still in the same place that you do your recording from. Your live stream recording. I'm at the other end of my room, and I'm using the webcam on my iMac.
Yeah.
As distinct from the phone in a thing at the other end of the room.
Okay.
So, but yeah, there's a marked difference. You're using a digital SLR for your image, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm using the webcam on my
yeah.
computer.
And even
which is better than the webcam on a lot of people's computers.
Yeah,
given
yeah.
that it's but
even that, I'm not only using the DSLR, I'm using the HDMI output on the DSLR. So not just the USB out. The HDMI output. So
right, sorry.
I've got an HDMI capture card as well. So yeah, I mean, but people, I mean, he was saying as well. He said like you can't even buy a computer monitor in most places for under $500-600. So because they're all gone because they're sold out. So now people are having to buy 4K $700-900 34-inch monitors because that's all that's left.
What the hell? No.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Because there's none in the country. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. The thing that one of the stumbling blocks and one of the things I've grappled with the way I've chosen to set my stuff up, the third setup I've done in the 4 weeks that we've been away from, or the almost 5 weeks we've been away from stuff.
Yep.
Is just the physical location being away from my computer. It on the surface it doesn't make any sense at all. It's just physical location wise, and with the equipment that I'm using, I couldn't, or the equipment I want to use, the fact that I want to use a mic and I want to use my pedals and stuff. I can't do what you're doing. which is really lovely and organic and feels real and immediate and kind of like you're in the space with everyone. I that didn't work for me. I tried it with the Zoom thing at the virtual pub, and I felt really hamstrung by the whole thing. Whereas you've slipped into that so. I mean, the duck analogy. You're all lovely and calm on the surface, and there's a lot of paddling going on underneath. And so there was a lot of preparation in order to get you to that spot. But as far as what we see, it looks serene. And I wasn't able to do that. I didn't enjoy that experience very much of just singing into a mic that was sort of, 2 feet away from me and blah, blah, blah. So the obvious thing for me then is to be able to run another monitor at the other end of the room with, wireless keyboard and the images that I need to see being thrown from my main monitor to the monitor that's going to be directly in front of me.
Yeah.
So then I can change backgrounds on the fly, and I could have had on Sunday's podcast, Sunday's live stream, I could have had more than, 8 images of Tom Corrigan being a twat behind me, because I could have just put in, the 37 photos he sent me instead of just cherry picking 9 of them. But yeah, that's
It is. So it's multifaceted in like the whatever challenge you choose to tackle with it. And here's the thing, if I'm doing covers, this is not a particularly comfortable setup.
No?
Because if I'm doing covers, I want the looper and I want to be able to go into a guitar solo, and I want a bit more noise, because there is something about singing songs that, for me, take me out of in my throat, in my voice, where I'm not super comfy. I get to have some other stuff which bring me back into, it's kind of like, I feel like when I sing that song, I sing it at a 4, but I played it at a 7, so it kind of evens me out a bit. But when you're just playing guitar and you're singing, you go, I can't do anything with my guitar playing to make this sound better or interesting. It's just me and an acoustic. But when it's my original songs, that's how they go.
Yeah.
So there's nothing in my brain saying, I can't really sing this song I wrote. Because I can do things with that, like maybe, put it change the capo or, get a different tuning or something. But it's still my voice and my creation that I'm trying to at least revisit. Yeah. But when I'm trying to sing Tennessee Whiskey, I'm like, I don't have that at 8 o'clock in the morning.
I never knew that was a difficult song for you to sing. That really threw me.
Yeah, big time. Yeah.
Because, as I've always said about your voice, it just, it all seems so effortless.
Well, but the people, we all feel that about you when you say, I've got nothing today. And we're like, are you serious? Sounds like it's so much, the duck thing about it's so much of it is like, where's your brain at?
Sure, absolutely. It's interesting though, isn't it? I wonder if it's because you and I have played so many cover gigs that we... And I feel like I struggle with this way more than you do. I tend to not necessarily play the songs the way they sound, but given the same amount of energy, I'm not quite sure. I can't express it properly, but like when people have said, you're the voice, play all the voice at these live stream gigs, it's like, I can do it.
Yeah.
But it's not... Like they're remembering what it feels like to be at the pub for the same reason that we've always said. Why do people, or when people say, why do they always ask for 500 miles and Jesse's going blah 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 and horses and to be with you? Whether or not you think they're good songs or not, that's actually not the reason they're asking for them. You're absolutely right in what you've always said, which is that they remember the last time they know the whoa, like it's all just the stuff that is. A muscle memory of when they had
it's
great
part of the
time.
the bag of escapism tricks that people
that's good.
People delve their hand into, going, that's the surefire. Yeah.
Oh, you mean for the musos?
No. 90% of musos would never play any of those songs if they could get away with it, right? But a lot of those musos only play those songs because they can't get away with playing other stuff.
Okay.
At the gigs they do. See, like, because most musos play on a Friday and Saturday night. They don't do Wednesday somewhere where they can get away with playing interesting covers that, you know, so they only do the big shouty numbers. You know.
So I think I really admire. It's been interesting watching James Sidebottom. I'd never seen James Sidebottom do a cover song before.
Yeah, right.
I'd only ever seen him do original stuff, and even then, only a couple of times. He just has he's got that beautiful knack of being able to kind of make a cover song his own. And he can play those songs in the environment that you're in with just his guitar. And I don't even know. I think he's just using a single mic. Or I don't know if he's plugged in or what he's doing.
Yeah, he's plugged in. Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
But he's not singing into a mic like I am. He's got an external mic somewhere that... Doesn't he? Or have I imagined that?
I think you might have imagined that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Regardless, though, he's very comfortable in... He appears to be very comfortable in just doing what it is that he does. Are you looking at his stream now?
Yeah, because I feel like I remember the first time he played.
Yeah.
And he had a microphone, because I know he's only doing two, but I'm not sure about last Friday.
How funny.
So,
well, that might just also be my perception, that it just feels so easy and seamless and comfortable that you know, maybe it feels like there isn't one there.
Microphone both times off coming in from the side.
Wow.
Yeah.
How funny.
Here's something about that, and this is interesting because it's an observation of what I see when I see you play and when I play with you, and that's compared to when I play with other people. So you generally at a gig make a party out of the gig. Like, you put on a show.
Try
right?
to.
Yes. And
that's why when I go overseas and they ask me what my occupation is, I write entertainer.
Well, there you go.
I stopped doing that because one of my muso friends saw that and said, "What the fuck, dude?" All right, musician. And then he said, "What the fuck, dude?" All right, fucking hack.
You're not friends with that person anymore, are you? You shouldn't be.
No, they were being funny.
The "what the fuck, dude" is what you should say to them. But that, I feel like, I might be maybe really off the mark here, but I feel like what you have brought when you have done your thing at home is very much a continuation of what you would do on a Sunday.
Absolutely.
You would put on a show, entertain people, and speak similarly too, like, you know, in between songs, like you're at a gig.
Try to.
Yeah, and well, then you are succeeding greatly because that's exactly how it's coming across. You're putting on a show. Now, that is not generally. I mean, I can do that, but it's not my button of when I get on stage. My button, I got a few I can switch to, and I can go all the way, dial to the right kind of thing, and go, yep, I'm in entertainer mode, right? But I really like to sit in Dom's playing guitar, singing songs nicely in the corner mode. And if I can do that at my gigs more often than not and still do the job that's required, like the venue wants it that way. Now, if the venue wants me to go, like for instance on a Saturday night, if it's party time, it's party time. No worries, right? But, you know, on a Sunday afternoon at the pub that I play at, that would actually just annoy most of the people, you know. And the folks that I've sometimes gotten in to fill in for me are there for party time. And it's like, no, it's the Brandon Hotel. We don't do that, you know. And they have trouble, you know, the musos go, but when I go to a gig, I go Saturday night all the time, even if it's Sunday at 3 o'clock.
Well, that's, I mean, I don't know the people you've had to fill in for you, but that is that's got to be the mark of immaturity as a performer, inexperience as a performer to not be able to read the room. I mean, that's part of our job is read the fucking room.
I think it's ego too.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's ego. Not everyone. I mean, some of the most of the people I've had gone to play have gone, fucking love that gig. I didn't have to go all the way to the right of the dial like I usually do. Or or you build a rod for your own back. Sometimes where you go, well, when I've gone in here all guns blazing one night, and then the next time I was booked, there was 10 people in the room instead of 100, but the bar manager wanted me to turn it into a 100 people gig, and it's like I can't bring 90 people into the room, and behaving like that's not how that's going to do it, right? I can make a party out of the people we've got, but it's a different kind of party. The way I'm set up and the way I'm playing is like, well, that I'm super comfy doing that because that's where I sit really, really comfortably. And the Fridays and the Saturday online gigs that I've done, I haven't enjoyed anywhere near as much as I have enjoyed 8 o'clock in the morning, because you get the barrage of just song requests, the same song from the same person 8 times in a row. It's like, it's not funny for me. Like, actually, I can't get into that.
I don't think they're being funny, some of them.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe they're not, but I can't. And the other thing is they're not reading me either. Do you know what I mean? Not reading this situation.
No,
either.
Absolutely.
So,
and in that way, they are like so many people who just are actually physically at the pub.
But my
that
gigs,
it's not about an interactive experience at all.
Yeah, my online gigs have dropped. Yeah, I think you're right. But my online gigs have dropped off since I've been playing more original songs in the last week.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, like it's dropped 40%.
I was on the other morning and there was like 28 people there.
Yeah, that was the biggest in the week.
Okay.
Yeah, by a long shot. If it gets over 18 or 19, that's very rare now.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what day and what time of night.
Well, you need to write more than 80 songs, obviously. No, how many have you got on Spotify? 50?
Oh no, there's about 70 or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, right.
Yeah, but
amazing.
Even
Fucking
with that,
amazing.
Even with that, like it's people come on and they they're on for 2 seconds and they just literally shout a song at you.
Yeah.
And if you don't acknowledge them, they're gone straight away.
Yeah, right. Really.
And it's like, great, don't want you here. Because it's a nice little crew of people who are getting out of it kind of what they're putting in as well. Like, most people have never met who are on my little stream every day.
That's right.
And they've never met each other and they're lovely to each other. And that's the vibe,
I think I had an email or a message from a friend of mine who now lives back in Brisbane, who obviously remembered what I'd said on the live stream in relation to a couple of those sorts of things. Is you got to start saying please.
Yeah.
And phrased in a gentle kind of way. Well, at least the first time anyway that I said it. And she said, I must apologise. I said, no, it was not about you at all.
Yeah.
That was completely about people who I've never fucking met. And bless them for turning up, but you can't just walk in.
Virtually.
Well, yeah. I mean, because they are then the same people at the pub who just yell shit. And that's not very endearing. And it's not the way you'd hope it's not the way they behave with other people in society.
Yeah. But I get it. Like, from watching your feed, like, you've got people that go to your gigs who behave that way, who you have a long-standing relationship with, and in context, right?
Absolutely.
You get it, and they get it, right? So if you have just virtually wandered into a Matt Bradshaw live stream, right, and watching some of the people behave that way, inverted commas, right, you'd be forgiven for going, I guess this is what we do, right?
Yeah, I get that too.
But also, you wouldn't really be forgiven because it still shows that you're not really aware of how you behave in that situation. So
exactly. I don't know this person. I've never met this person. Yeah. Look, the reason, and I've said this to a couple of people, I'm not doing the Thursday, Friday, Sunday gigs at home for me at all. And I don't mean that's not meant to be martyrish, but
Yeah.
the reason I kind of take the same energy into it that I took into those gigs is for the same reason that I do the gigs at all, which is I always said I'm going to do those 3 favorite gigs of mine as a way of kind of bringing some sort of normalcy to everyone's situation. So all the people that used to come along to those gigs come along to those gigs. And for me to say, I'm doing this to normalize our situation and then do something different to what they expect, that would be within my right to do so, but it's not why I'm doing it. I genuinely am doing it for them. I love it. I love the singing. I love singing and playing. But fuck, I wouldn't if I didn't feel like there was a valid reason for my doing it.
Right.
I don't
Is that
need
interesting? Is that interesting? Just a completely different approach. I'm 100% doing this for me because I know at this time, like it's really important for me to have something to make and build for, and
I absolutely know that,
yeah.
mate. And you know, the in the same way that, you know, giving to charity has the added benefit of making you know, a result bigger than the sum of its parts.
Yeah.
You know, the joy that you are bringing to a bunch of other people is really important, regardless of whether you're only doing it for you. And I know you're saying 100%.
When I say 100%, like I am doing it for me. Here's the thing that ends up incidentally happening. Almost all of the people who come online can't come to gigs, to my little shows that I do.
Yeah, right.
They're not people who can usually go out to the pub on a Friday night. And if they can, it's every second week when, you know, the ex has got the kids.
Sure.
And it's not on a Monday morning. Like, you know, it is on a every second Thursday or something like that. Is very much a group of people who I think have been starved from access to live music, but also original music that they can connect to. Mm-hmm. So there is something about the fact that I'm singing my own songs, and that my type of music is, if you have the kind of life where you don't necessarily get to go out and connect with people very often, my music is a lot about how I have trouble with that. So I do think it's really interesting when I see the names come up. I was like, oh yeah, like these aren't people that would come and see my cover gig at Crown on a Thursday.
Yeah,
they can't. It's not something they can go and do. And
you've built a really lovely community that is going to be ongoing. So then this comes back to the other, I guess, part of the referencing my question before about how long is this going to go on, and then how will that manifest insofar as our industry. You were already doing live stream gigs before this whole thing happened. Obviously, they've ramped up quite a bit. You weren't doing 2 a day, but
well, I actually hadn't done any pretty much since Kat moved in.
Sure.
And then we had a whole bunch of stuff. Of course, moved house and
yeah.
But yes, I have experience doing it. So when this thing happened, it wasn't like I was going, how do I plug my iPhone into my mixer? Like
no, but also when this is over, you're not going to stop. That's what I was getting to.
No. But I also think this is going to be such, like this isn't a thing for me to do, to replace playing at Crown on a Sunday night. Like this is like, well, I would rather do this. I'd rather go and play in front of people face to face, but also I'd rather play mostly my own songs.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, I don't know how necessarily. Maybe if this goes on for 6 to 9 months and then we start to be allowed out to go and do gigs in January, then maybe I will be able to go and do gigs and people will come. But we've also established that most of the people who are coming online and being part of it, they find it hard to get to gigs.
Yeah. Except the ones that are saying, put the jackpot backdrop on again. That was really good.
Yeah, well, that's that's all right. There's not many people doing that.
No, there's not.
No,
There's not.
and they mean it. And that's the thing. Like, they're not being jerks. Like,
No, I know.
Yeah, but some people
I
have
know.
been. Yeah, some people have been.
Have they?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Well, no, I haven't had much experience, but I do know, there's, I think most, there are some behaviours you go, well, okay, I can put that into context. But most people aren't into it. They just bypass it. They don't log on, or they don't say anything. Like, they're just not into it. That's cool. That's most people. So, but it is really lovely. It's really lovely to go on a virtual world tour and people to go, hey, I've been there. Like, it's nice.
I'm very aware with my playing and the gigs I've done and the energy that I bring to the pub gigs. Certainly, yes, we've already said that's what I try to bring to these 3 gigs that I do, because I'm trying to sustain the same vibe, even though I'm here by myself. But also, from years of doing what it is that I do, you said rod for your own back. And you were talking about something else. That's almost how I feel about my playing and singing. Except that by rights, I'm now in the perfect position of only doing 3 gigs a week usually. That the rest of the time I could be perfecting my craft, and potentially after years of doing what I do, finding another string to my bow, maybe not finding another way of doing things. Because I know that if I've got a movie on, which by about 9:30 at night, that's pretty well what I do. Last night I watched a movie called The Long Dumb Road, which is a Jason Mantzoukas film, and the young guy who was the maitre d' in the Best Marigold Hotel. I think that was him. No, the other film that looked like that. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Hang on. Not the Irish guy.
No.
I know the. Okay, yeah. I don't. Yes, I know who you're talking about. Tony Revelli and Jason Mantzoukas.
Thank you. Very good.
Yeah.
So I'm a big
I
Jason.
just looked it up. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
I'm a big Jason Mantzoukas fan.
Yeah, he's very fun. Yeah,
he is.
Yeah.
And he didn't write the script, but so much of the dialogue was clearly just him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it
very
wasn't
funny guy. Yeah.
It wasn't a great film, but it was really enjoyable, and it was quite like it was very. I guess it was a comedy drama.
Yeah,
mainly a comedy, but like one of those sorts of films, and very. The sort of film that I like. Like, it was dialogue driven. There weren't, there was no explosions. I don't mind explosions, but just as, doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I have a guitar right next to me, and I pick it up and I noodle, and that's where, that's where I See You came from, was just sitting on the couch. It's like, okay, well, that's okay. And I play with my fingers. I don't finger pick. I'm not clever enough. I never have been. It's not something I've ever tried to learn or teach myself or anything.
I have one finger picking pattern, and it keeps repeating itself in every second song I write for this project I'm doing.
But I just know that. Well, I See You is a really good example. I play that better when I just sit on my couch without a mic and without all the bullshit and without this fucking thing in my ear. I play it better when I just play with my fingers. It's gentler. It puts it across better. But when I get in the environment of, fuck, here I am. Well, I'm clearly doing a gig now.
Right.
Even if I try to, in the context of a gig, give it light and shade, it doesn't work for me. I haven't. I'm really frustrated by my own inability to transition. It's Yeah.
That's where this setup really does lend itself to do that.
I get you.
The other thing is how well, not well is not the right word. I guess, well drilled maybe. Like, so I have said for a long time now that writing songs for me is an musical antidote to the rest of my musical life, because my musical life generally is out playing noisy, shouty kind of places and having to do songs that don't, like, I have to manipulate what my voice can do to be able to, copy or mimic or get close to the vibe of April Sun in Cuba. I mean, like, for example, and I can't sing Dom Italiano style, right? Those kind of songs. So I have to kind of create some kind of thing for me to be able to do it. So when I get home, I get the chance to pick up a guitar and sing something, quite often what comes out is this light and, I call it the antidote. Like that's the thing. So that just happens to work perfectly with just a mic in the room and a guitar and me and the light and shade of it. Now, that's because what I create is incidentally different. And what's really funny is 3 weeks into this songwriting challenge where we're stuck at home, I write 3 songs in a row that are upbeat, rocky, kind of sing out with a bit of gravel, because I'm not deprived. Like, I'm not having to do that all the time in my musical life. I totally noticed what was happening where I was like, singing the one about my mum, This Will Soon Be Over. It's like, oh, I know what's happening here. Like, I'm going, this will soon be over. I'll be singing like this again. Like I can tell how just the brain is kind of going, you are missing this in your life. Go and get it in your music.
Wow.
And that is just because that is really kind of well drilled for me for like years of, this is how I'm being a musician most of the time. This is what's missing. Go and fill it in a bit. And even the Black Rain stuff, like revisiting the Black Rain stuff with like a heavy rock band stuff. That band, I get to be a guitar player. I don't have to know what the singer's doing. Unreal. I play guitar completely different. It's really exciting. So I imagine that if you were to have a few weeks in a row of writing a song just with you and your guitar and then sitting down in front of your computer with the mic and going, oh, maybe I'll sing it, maybe I'll tune down, I'll sing it in a slightly different key. And so, like, I don't have to be at the gig. Yeah. I can be in my space. And just do
maybe.
it like that. But it's like all kinds of things with music. The if you don't do it very much, it doesn't feel very comfortable.
Yeah. I mean, of course, I still write songs that have belty A's and B flats in them, but that's learned behavior as well, and it's also the and I put a lot of chords in my songs. That's lack of faith in my own songwriting ability. That's, I've got this bag of tricks, so this is what I do.
Yeah.
So.
It's very much a lot of that stuff, and I was coming up with ideas because I was telling you earlier that I'm going to do a video for some people I know who aren't experienced guitar players who are having trouble playing bar chords, and the trick to playing bar chords is to hardly ever play them. And the more you play guitar, the more you realise that you actually hardly ever need to play 6 notes at once. I think maybe an E chord is the only time you incidentally play 6 notes at once, right? Because you don't, even with a G chord, you don't play, you can't hear that B with the first finger,
No,
it's not done.
No.
But
you play an A as a bar chord and it sounds weird anyway. It's too full.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Too much shit in it.
And just the way to hold your hand and things like that. And I was also thinking about what advice would I have for songwriters? If I did a video for YouTube, 5 things every songwriter should know kind of thing, right? And one of them would be, learn your accompaniment instrument or approach your accompaniment instrument like it's your main instrument, right? Because then you can do things like you can play a riff in between the verse and the chorus just to break it up, and then it sounds more like, and that's something that you do. Like you might not, you don't talk about yourself as a guitar player, but you do all that stuff with your compositions. Put riffs in and, like lots of chord changes and stuff. And maybe the next song you write is okay, it's just chords. Like it's not, and just to see if you see what happens when you decide that you're going to do this or you're going to do that. And sometimes I have a song which is an exercise, and sometimes I have a song which is I just needed to get that out. But you need to have a mix. You need to go, this week I felt like this, and this is what came out. It's 4 chords, and it's all about the lyric. And then the next week it's like, I just wanted to see if I could change key in the bridge to, a third up instead of what I usually do if I do a key change. And that's that bit in the song is the exercise to see if I could do it.
I know you have a tendency to get even perhaps just even a little bit grumpy with me when I say, I fucking know what I'm doing. But I mostly feel like I don't know what I'm doing. And it's only when I go back and listen to stuff that I realise that I do often do the same things. Because when I'm doing them, I think I'm being, as clever and inventive and as interesting as I can be.
I'll ask a question about that. Do you say that you don't know what you're doing because when you've done it, you don't know, you're not able to explain what it is that you've done? So, for example, like every time I write a song, I pick up a guitar and I just play. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just playing, and occasionally something catches my ear, and I go with that.
Well, that's certainly how I start.
So I don't know what I'm doing, but I can almost always explain what I've done after the fact. Like for instance, like that song is in this mode, or that riff is this thing. So I wonder if I'm just trying to drill down on the language when you say I don't know what I'm doing. It sounds more like to me you don't know what it is when you've done it.
No.
Because I think when you're in the moment of just seeing whatever comes out of your hands or your mouth or whatever, I don't think we know what we're doing. We're just seeing what comes out. And I do think there's an element of, as you said, when you recognize that, this is a thing that I do often in my writing, because I do things often in my writing, which is when I go, okay, well, next time I write a song, I want to try and do something that I don't usually do.
Sure.
And I realise that that's going to be in the context of something that I do usually do as well. It's going to transition in and out of it, because otherwise it's me just trying to write a Bon Jovi song. Or like here's a lyric that I'm seeing what I'm going to write. I can cry for you, die for you, sigh for you lyric, and will I be able to do that? Like, yeah. I think that's that makes sense to me though. When you say I don't know what I'm doing, it's like all my songs start as just whatever comes out.
Yeah.
And then I go, ooh,
you're absolutely right though. That the adjunct to that is also then I don't know what I've done.
Yeah. And that is what I would say to anyone, because I have had lots of messages over the last 3 months or 4 months of saying, so how do you write a song? Like, and it's like, okay, well that says to me that there's something in the way that people think because they can play songs that they know how songs should be written. And there's all this stuff underneath this knowledge of like a D chord has 3 notes in it. The D, F sharp and A, and D, F sharp and A appear all over your instrument, right? And so a D chord is not this shape here. It's this, and this. Like, and therefore you're no longer hampered by going, oh, well, I've got to play D, but it doesn't sit right in my voice. You go, okay, well, then you can, I mean, something, I know that you do that all the time. You can just go, I just play it in a different key. That's really comfortable for you. But all that stuff about what's happening, well, I don't know, just my hands go places. And you go, my hands always go there. I need to not do that with this song. Yeah.
Have you watched any of Aaron Laguda's stuff on?
I saw one video where he was, I think he played the locker room mode. I was like, I haven't heard the locker room mode for a while.
He's been doing a whole bunch of that stuff.
Oh, cool.
God, jeez, he's a tasty player.
Really nice muso. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I've never played with him. Yeah.
He's back on track.
Well,
Because he's being really, and particularly in this period, quite prolific in the posts on Instagram and on Facebook. Productive and interesting and great. And it's
well, you know,
like with what you're doing and like with what I'm doing, regardless of whether he's doing it for himself or doing it for other people, it actually works to be the same thing.
Yeah.
The same ultimate result. And it's fucking great. Because I really like Aaron, and it's really nice to see him out there and doing good stuff again.
The birds at your house are going bananas. They're having lots.
They always do, mate. It's how I roll.
Hey, I've got to go because I've got to go to a doctor's appointment.
I know. I have no idea how long we've been here for, but I feel like it's a long time.
Yeah. Well, it's also
Sorry,
good.
everyone.
It's also good to know that the battery in my camera lasts however long this is. So.
Oh, shut up. Battery and camera. We didn't even get to my other questions about cameras.
Quick! I've got 2 minutes.
Wow, we really didn't get to it.
Have we ever been able to have a conversation about any subject matter for like less than 2 minutes?
Yes. I'm hamstrung now by my not my financial situation, but the idea that I would outlay cash on something for the express purpose of trying to make the live stream gigs look better.
Yeah.
You know, thinking that maybe whatever I buy now is going to have to be ordered and be posted in Australia Post, you know, might take 2 weeks to get here. And what if I'm allowed to go back and do a gig in 2 weeks? It's not really that at all. Anyway, doesn't matter.
We'll talk about that separately, not in the podcast. Cool. I love you. I'll speak to you later.
All right, bye.
That's later, biscuit. Yeah, thanks for a nice chat, mate.
You're welcome. Thank you. It's been a good one.
I'm pressing stop.
Go on.